Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of my Clipper faithful. Thanks so much for being here on Friday, November 17th for November's community call. We're joined by Jeremy of the Shipyard Development Team. He's a leader of operations, and he is a rank and file regular Clipper community member just like all of us. We have a very fun schedule to go through today. We're going to talk a little bit about Jeremy and his role. We're going to go over sales staking, Adventure 4 rewards, the recent operator elections, community leader plans, what's happening with Coves, and ask a bunch of audience questions. And one of the first topics we're going to be talking about today is sales staking. And I just want to invite the people in the audience that if you prove that you stake your sale during the call today, we will go ahead and reimburse your gas fees. So thank you to everyone being here. A little bit more housekeeping. If you have questions, you can go ahead and ask them in the main stage chat, or there is a Google form. We have a number of questions in there. We're going to get to all of them, but we're here for the community. We want to ask you guys questions. We want to answer your questions, so put them in there and let's get through it. So first of all, welcome Jeremy to the stage. How are you? What's going on? Who are you? And what do you want to talk about?
It's great to be here with you, Ben. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's an honor to be on the main stage in front of the Clipper community. Who am I? I'm Jeremy, head of operations over at Shipyard Software, which essentially means I'm a distributed PM across the whole organization. So I work on the marketing team, on the biz dev team, on the biz ops team. I help the product team as well as they kind of organize their activities. So I have a little bit of a view into everything that's going on, and sometimes people listen to me internally, which is great when that happens.
Great. You got your fingers in all the pies, which is good because we're going to be eating a lot of pie and we want to tell the community about what's going on.
Heck yeah,
So,
there's so much going on, so many exciting things happening.
yeah, well, you can see up on my screen, I'm sharing the Clipper Exchange Get VE sale, which references sale staking. So let's start there. You just a few days ago, perhaps about a week ago, you and I recorded a sale staking tutorial. I'll make sure to link that in chat. But for those who didn't catch it and those who just don't really know what's going on with the project, can you talk a little bit about what is sale token, what's sale staking, and why people might want to do it and how they might go about doing it?
Yeah, Sail token is a governance token of Admiral DAO, which you and I are both members of, operators of. Anyone who holds a Sail token is de facto a member of Admiral DAO. And I think the very first proposal that the DAO passed was to have staking and to be able to stake their tokens in the expectation that some of the revenues from Clipper itself would flow to that staked token. The devs put it together, right, and we got right to work. And I think about 6 weeks ago, we launched veSAIL, which stands for Vote Escrow Sale.
Vote escrow.
Now, yeah, a typical Vote Escrow token would be the voting token of a DAO. So you would have a lockup period where you'd have to stake your token and then have it locked for a certain amount of time in order to then participate. We thought, especially initially, that we wanted to first gauge interest, and two, couldn't make that decision without the DAO. So we launched a token with no lockup periods, meaning that you can stake and unstake freely for the time being, and then we'll let the DAO decide how it really wants to utilize Vote Escrow Sale, VE Sale. We anticipated that there'd be about a 20% appreciation if you annualized it between in terms of the exchange rate between sale and VE sale. We underestimated that as
Yeah.
there's been a lot of enthusiasm
Yeah.
for VE sale. Because VE sale is essentially a vehicle for getting exposure to Clipper's revenues. And you get that exposure because the revenues go to purchase sale, and then sales held in that contract, the VE sale contract, and VE sale holders are then also holding that additional sales being purchased, or have a stake to that additional sales being purchased.
Right. So let me hop in and how that you talk about how the APY has been, we estimate at 20%, and it's been a lot more, and how the a user actually sees that. Maybe you can talk about how the conversion rate to sale and
Yeah.
VE sale. Yeah.
APY is, it's kind of a funny way to talk about this because it's actually an exchange rate, right?
Hmm.
What we're talking about is an exchange rate. So the rate's going to fluctuate. So you will see the rate decline, but you won't see the kind of overall value of VE sale fluctuate that much, especially not downward, because what the rate is always doing is the rate is always then adding some.
Yeah.
It just may be adding it more slowly in the future. And again, we expected volatility early on. We just didn't expect this rush of enthusiasm. And I understand the rush of enthusiasm, right? You get sale essentially
Yeah.
for staking your sale. If you're already holding it, then you may as well also get some back in rewards. And if you're a member of Admiral DAO, it just makes sense that you have the benefit of Clipper revenues driving those additional rewards for you. So when you look at the screen here,
Yeah.
what you see is that currently one sale, right, can be exchanged for just north of 2/3 of VE sale, or just sorry, south of 2/3 of VE sale, which means that you'll get 1.5 sale if you reimburse, if you unstaked your VE sale now. Uh, you could
And
do
where the
that.
return
You
comes
could keep
from.
holding and
Yeah.
keep it increasing.
And where the
So
returns
yeah,
come from. So I remember when I put my sale in, it was the rate was like 1.2 or 1.3. So that was
yeah, yeah,
just a
yeah.
week. So now if I were to transfer my sale back, I have 1.5 times this amount of sale in, whereas before I only had 1.3 amount. So I'm
Correct.
gaining sale if I were to
You're
take it
gaining
out.
sale. Correct. Yeah.
And I want to remind for those of you who came in the middle of this call, during this call, and I believe that there is a goal of getting how much sale do we want staked
Uh, Again,
as
initially,
much?
right, when we kind of
Just
set this up and drafted out what we thought would be the kind of right amount given how much sales in circulation, 20 million was our target, and I think we're right around 7 right now.
that's great. So
So
look,
that's just north of 1 million a week, which is good.
get in now, and we're making a special offer for those of you who are in the call right now. You can go to Clipper.exchange, go to Earn, and hop in and stake your sale. And if you come and prove that you made your sale during this call, we'll go ahead and reimburse your gas fees for that. So if you haven't staked yet, go in and do it right now. Maybe we'll leave that offer open for the recording too. We'll see. We'll talk to folks about that. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk to about sale? Actually, there's we're gonna have time at the end for questions, but we have some great questions that are about sale right now. Do you want me to hop into those quickly or leave them for the end?
I cheated. I read your questions ahead of time and I
Yeah.
answered the first one
Oh, you know.
already because I wanted to make sure that was part of the talk track. Which is, is the rate going to change? Yeah, the exchange rate will change. And there are a number of factors that are going to impact the exchange rate, right? For instance, the revenues and how much is
Right.
bought back, but also what gets unstaked. So as things move around, what we'll get to is a fairly stable exchange rate. But like I said, if you are currently holding and staking, you are net gaining sale. You are just going to be net gaining at different rates going forward.
Right. But the exchange rate changes, but it's always it's positive. Well, you're not getting less sale later. Is that it's
In
like
most
it may be
cases,
less.
yeah,
It's less
right.
acceleration, but it's still positive, if you will.
I mean, there, of course, like if you talk to an economist, you could draft scenarios where the exchange rate goes upside down, but those are not conditions that we anticipate with this token. So
All right,
right
great.
now, what you're looking at is probably a great exchange rate to jump in at because you'll be getting that additional sale going forward on top of that.
Yeah. And Barbarossa asks, so it's buying back to stake, right? Do you want to comment on that? Is that a fair characterization?
uh, it's buying back to hold, right? So the revenues are purchasing sale and then holding it in that VE sale contract, which then you as the staker have exposure to with your VE sale. Uh, so that's also what's driving the exchange rate, right? Is there's sale that's migrating from the market into that vote escrow sale contract.
All right. Well, look, the takeaway here is if you're not staking your sale, you're actually leaving free money on the table. So go get your free sale, put it in. It supports the project. It keeps the value. You get more sale from doing it, and we'll reimburse your gas fees, so you don't lose any of your voting. It's just it seems kind of like a no-brainer to go stake. So I would say go
It is a
stake.
no-brainer. It's also, I'd say, there are possibilities, right? The DAO could introduce benefits to holding the sale. So the idea from the beginning was, okay, great. The DAO is up and running. The DAO now has a governance token. There's a way for everyone in the community to participate in that governance.
Yeah.
We should also give them the ability to see the upside of how the protocol is running and the revenues it's generating through a staked token. So that's where veSAIL came from. However, the DAO hasn't really decided everything it wants to do with veSAIL yet. That's still to come.
All right, great. Well, let's talk. Well, we're talking about staking rewards. Let's move to our next topic and talk about some other types of rewards. Also, I'm getting a bunch of DMs. People are both roasting me and complimenting me. They love my background. They love that the drum set and the electronic piano and the bass and guitar. But they think it's silly that I'm looking down in the corner. So I have to look at the camera so it looks like I'm communicating with the audience. So I'll do better. I'll do better with the camera and less good with my background. But let's move on to the next topic, which is, as I stated, different types of rewards. We had the adventure. Adventure 4 was super fun. Thousands
Yeah.
of pirates signed up and completed. And if they got a certain number of points, they were able to get rewards. And Captain T, who is the operator, financial steward of the DAO, is arranged this. And I believe that you are in charge of setting up the disbursements through sushi.com/Firo. So I'm going to pop that up on the screen. And maybe you can talk a little bit about what our plans are and how this works and what people could do to get their rewards.
Yeah. So Adventure 4 was a lot of fun, especially, kind of start to finish, seeing all the activities that were being completed. Ben, you and I worked really closely on kind of getting that thing launched, and I
Yep,
know you were deep into building that narrative out, and I thought you and the whole crew did a fantastic job.
we did
Uh,
great.
so, of course, everyone deserves rewards for what they completed and not only all the value they drove, but really coming together, right? I mean, the whole idea in Web3 is that you're building around a community and for a community, and I think that our adventures really demonstrate that here at Clipper. Uh, in terms of how we're dispersing those rewards. Again, the DAO got together, the operators met on it, made a decision, and said, okay, we're going to send this as gas efficiently as possible because obviously we don't want to spend DAO money just on gas. Let's make sure that rewards are in the hands of the pirates and the participants. And we settled on Polygon being the way to send that out. And rather than use dev resources internally to send it through a Merkle tree, we said, well, let's use another decentralized tool. let's see what's out there that we can use to execute these disbursements. And Furrow is something that we had used to send, I believe, the trading competition disbursements
Okay.
last month, and it went off without a hitch. So we said, great, let's do it this time and try out the vesting. So what you'll see is that you have vesting that started 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we were able to execute everything. And your first of 4 disbursements will occur a month from that date, and that will end March 15th, right? So that's the 4th. So you get the first in December, second in January, third in February, fourth in March. However, there will also be going out today an initial disbursement. So if you look at those 4, that's one part of your rewards, but there's an initial disbursement that will show up in your furrow for immediate claiming later today. So you'll not only have the ability to look at what's coming from vesting, but you'll also have the ability to claim your sale tokens in line with your activities in Adventure 4. And all through this decentralized tool from our friends over at Sushi.
Great. So I actually haven't used Furrow. And I mean, maybe. So you go to sushi.com/Furrow, you connect your wallet, you see
Mm-hmm.
this here, and
Yep.
then let's see. You just
You click in, and it gives you like a little mini personalized dashboard. It shows you what has unlocked
yeah. Okay. So
and
I
what you
could
have
claim
coming.
this unlock is already. Well, this unlock will happen in 27 days.
Right.
I see. Okay.
Yep.
Uh,
And then you'll have a stream payment coming today that'll equal the amount of your first unlock.
Very cool. And because
Yeah.
this is on Polygon, the claiming is going to be, negligible, basically.
It's
Yeah,
it is very low.
tenth,
Yeah.
what
I
hundredth of
mean,
a
I
cent.
had to
Yeah,
organize I think like 20 different sends of this,
yeah,
and I mean it's hilarious how how efficient, how gas efficient sending that many disbursements out on Polygon is. I just love that L2.
yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I can't wait to see it. And a month from now, I'll claim this, and I'm going to get my 1,000 sale today, and I'm going to turn around and pop it into staking immediately. All
That's
right.
the way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just pop through these topics. I want to talk next about operator elections. And just talk about who our operators are and what our plans are for the future with that. I am one of the operators. Pardon me, I'm going to mute while I cough. If you want to vamp for a second. Thanks, I'm back. Very super professional stream here. So, after the end of Adventure, I was the head of community for Clipper DEX, and we sat with the team and said, I'm doing a lot, and now that sale token has been released, we kind of want to move towards the community taking over more of the roles of stuff that the internal team was doing. And the way that we broached that topic is we said, let's have operators control various aspects of what's going to happen in Clipper decks. And we started off with 5 separate operator roles. I really wanted one of them and applied for it and was voted by the audience to get it. And those roles were community reporter, of which I'm doing my dues right now. We're reporting to the community what's happening in Clipper. There is the financial steward of the DAO, which is held by Captain T, and he provides reports on what's the status of the treasury, what's the money being used for, what's the actual execution of spending that money, which is generally spent on the Clipper DAO members, the Admiral DAO members, which is Clipper users. So that's a reporter, treasurer. We have the tech support guy, which is Rusty. He handles kind of any tech questions and goes through support tickets. And he actually set up guild.xyz for us. He set up a lot of the contracts. He's just sort of a tech guy. And then we have the community events, which is Captain MEN, who handles our announcements and is going to be planning fun events. I'm sure he's in chat right now. I believe he's working on setting up a quiz channel. And then the last operator, which was only just elected just past week, is Barbarossa Eli Khan, who's going to be our social media operator. So I believe he's in chat too, and he needs to come to our next operator meeting so we can talk about what the social media operator is going to do. And actually, I'm going to put you on the spot, Jeremy. What do you see in your mind, what do you see the social media operator doing?
So I was really enthusiastic about having the community kind of take over the voice of Clipper's social media account, mainly because there's a lot of activity and a lot of enthusiasm that's only in Discord right now, and it really feels like the community or community representative, an operator, can best translate that into Twitter. So the role that Barbaros is taking on is really to be that conduit,
Yeah.
to say, hey world, there's a lot of fun stuff happening out there. There's a great project here. You should be aware of it. And here's just a small look at all the fun that we're having
Yeah.
inside the community.
Just
So
get the
I really
word
do
out.
see it as a way to, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get the word out to the general public, because Clipper is owned by the DAO,
Right.
right? Like it's a DAO run project, and I think it's important that the DAO take the lead in being that voice to the world.
Right. So we do all this fun stuff in Discord, but let's get it out to the wider world. So that could be
Yeah, just
Twitter,
show some of
Telegram.
that.
So, for instance, Barbarossa, if you're in chat, we forgot to tweet about this community call. So
Till the very last minute.
so you're the social media operator. So from now on, now that you're in the loop, like let everyone know so we can make sure that everyone comes into our club. Let's. Oops. I uh, I hope I'm still in chat. I'm not sure if I am. Hang on a second. Let's open up Discord again. Hmm. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can
Okay,
hear
good.
you.
I meant to hit refresh on Clipper Twitter to see if the tweet had come up, and I hit some weird button which crashed Discord. So I'm back. Welcome. Happy to be here. But that's why we need a social media operator, so we don't have me messing up with our Twitter.
That's right. Someone else could be refreshing Twitter
Totally.
while you're speaking.
Let's move to the next topic because we actually saw. Let me share my screen again,
Mhm.
and this is a Clipper Twitter. And let's go back to here. And we're back. Okay, let me open up the chat on the side because I believe I saw someone asked a question about, or maybe you're answering questions. Here we go. Captain Safe said, is there any chance for community leader or moderators or any vacancy plan? So our second to last topic was going to be our plans for community leader because we talked about operator elections, but before we had operators, we had like I think we had about 10 or 11 community leaders that did a lot of those roles. And I know that MEN and who is our community events operator, and Captain T, who is our financial steward of the Dow Treasury, was looking over kind of what the budget is for community leaders and what is the necessary role there. And Jeremy, you could talk more about this if you're more up to date on it. But as I understand it, we're looking to get community leaders back in the fold in December. And what we had in the past is we had like official community leaders and we had apprentice community leaders, but there wasn't really a distinction between what that meant or a way to be mobile between being an apprentice community leader and an official community leader. And as I understand it, Captain T and Captain MEN are looking to have a more clearly defined roles and responsibilities for those community leaders with a more clearly defined reporting and scoring rubric or matrix about how you're doing as a community leader so you can go up from an apprentice to be a community leader, or if you're not providing your duties, you can go back down. So that's a very rudimentary understanding for me about what's happening. We hope to have it starting in December. Jeremy, is there anything you want to add about that? Or T, if you're in here, you can hop up on and talk about it as well. But go ahead, Jeremy, if you have other things to say about that.
No, I just think it's fantastic, right? I mean, you're essentially seeing governance evolving in real time, right? There's accountability coming in that the operators are helping to instill and manage and provide some oversight of, but you're also leaving that space there for the community to own a lot of these roles and to be participatory. So I just love seeing
Yeah.
it. You know, my role is as a liaison, right? So as an operator, I'm a kind of a non-voting member of those meetings. But I also am a huge proponent of decentralized governance, and it's great to see it happening in real time in what I would say a very productive way here at Clipper.
Yeah, and to put you behind the scenes as operators, and this is relatively new. I think we've had 2 meetings so far, but we're currently meeting bi-weekly, so that's once every 2 weeks. We may ramp that up as this gets a little more smooth and we know what we're doing. Um, but there's the five of us. Well, there's been four because we needed our social media operator. But now that we have those five, we get in, we meet. Jeremy's there to sort of be the liaison with the shipyard team and the dev team. We talk about what needs to happen in the community, and we straight up and down vote about what's going on. We bring it to you. But you, as the reason I put our snapshot up there is anyone who's a SAIL token holder, you can go through the governance process, and we encourage anyone to, like, if you have proposals for what you think community leaders should do, or what you think what exchanges we should be on, or anything that you think the Clipper should be doing, go through the governance process. And if it goes here, and if it makes it to snapshot, which it starts out in Discord, but if you have the support there and it makes it onto the snapshot, like, you, the SAIL token holder, the DAO members, you can vote on what happens. And it's not like, look, people like Barbarossa, so my man got elected, but not everything that passes goes. The community really does speak. So it's not just 99%, 1% votes. You can see that in a lot of these votes that, it's a quadratic voting equation. So not just whales can vote their way. We have how many wallets hold SAIL now, Jeremy? Do you know that off the top of your head? Like,
5,000,
yeah,
just over 5,000.
this is not super concentrated. So if you have an idea and you can get support, put it up on Snapshot and let's make it happen. So Barbarossa, I know you're an operator, but other people, or as Captain Safe, if you have ideas about how community leaders should go, then go ahead and make it happen and get it up on a proposal. So that's our plans for community leaders. Stay tuned for more information in December. And the person to talk to, who's kind of leading this charge, is Captain T and Captain MEN. So I'd send you their way. Okay. Our last topic before we take questions is going to be coves and any other development plans that you want to talk about. So I'm going to leave it to you to talk about coves.
Yeah, so Coves is kind of one part of the whole Clipper product offering. And as we've been doing a lot of user research, user interviews, I think I've set up over 50 calls with LPs for Mark Lurie, the CEO over at Shipyard Software, to kind of talk through what they're experiencing. We're going to have a report coming out by the end of the year that kind of looks at the LP view of the world. And one thing that became clear was that Coves are really surplus to requirements when it came to seeing the best yields for LPs. And the way that we ensure that we have the best prices for trades is that we protect the profits for LPs. And in the whole equation, it didn't seem like Coves were performing at the level that they needed to in order to be part of Clipper's core suite. So Coves are going to be deprecated as of next Monday. The contracts will still exist. So you can still interact with those on the blockchain as you want, but we're not going to have front end support for it, which means there'll be no way to deposit into Coves. So we're encouraging everyone who has liquidity in Coves to withdraw that liquidity. And also, if you want to put that liquidity to better work, again, per our review, the best place is across the 4 deployments on Clipper in the core pools.
So it sounds the contracts still exist, but you don't have to move your money. But it sounds like there may be better opportunities in the core pools. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, yeah, we're just saying, hey, going forward, we're really going to focus on LP returns, and Coves aren't offering those returns that say you would get in the core pool. And the reason we're focusing on LP returns is because that's how we enable the best prices on trades.
And that's sort of the core business. And we're guided, as you say, by conversations with liquidity providers. And look, Clipper has been around since July of 2021, and it's taken, we take different courses. For a while, we thought we might be the one-stop shop for all of your long tail token trades, and that's why Coves came out. But then I think it really came out sort of during Adventure that people like Clipper being sort of the place for blue chip assets, which is what our core
Yeah,
pools are. And that's where if you're kind of like stick to doing what you're best at, is that maybe,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say lean into your competitive advantage, and ours is we offer some amazing returns on crypto's blue chip assets. So if you look at the assets that are most widely held and traded, right, on a day-to-day basis, we're destroying other other dexes or dex pools that have similar compositions to ours in terms of returns, and that's because of how Clipper's built. Right, as a formula market maker, that's rebalancing daily. We were able to capture gains from the volatility that's inherent to the market. Coves aren't operating in the same way, and thus you're not going to see those same returns. So again, we just want to make sure that we're building around the core of what the product is, and really it's built around the higher returns for LPs.
Okay, great. So the takeaway here is coves are going away in the sense that they're not going to be supported by dev. The contract will be there, but likely you want to probably pull your liquidity and pull it in the big LPs.
Ah,
Yeah, there you go.
see what you did there.
Yeah, I pronounced the pronunciation wasn't great, but the pun was there. All right, we covered all the topics. Unless you can think of any, I guess I just want to ask a wide-ranging question. Since you're sort of the liaison with the dev team, are there any other like what are the plans for the future before we start going into audience questions?
Yeah, like I said, we're completing this really wide-ranging review, which on the back of a number of interviews, on the back of a lot of study of the product itself around LPs. So you'll be seeing a lot more activity, say, on the site, some updates, especially on the front end, and possibly in terms of how you interact with the product, that is designed to kind of better capture the LP experience and to show people who are LPing what their gains are, what their impermanent loss kind of savings are, because we want to make sure that the the kind of sad state of LP and on other dexes
Yeah,
is addressed on our decks to show like, hey, we're completely different. You don't have to worry about these kind of inflationary, over-promising APYs. You don't have to worry about impermanent loss. You know, this we're built different, and we're built different because we're built around a real user,
yeah.
not for giant trading firms to kind of skim some arbitrage off the top of other people's activities.
So the front end, the website, if you will, the product, the user experience is going to be designed
Yes,
around the user. And
correct.
as you can see,
I mean, I'll say designed say more intentionally because I think if you go to Clipper now, you say, okay, great, I have what I need to get things done. But we really want to focus on that core use case, which is
right.
LPing.
So kind of what some of the stuff you're talking about, just fortuitously, I opened up the Clipper data page and you can see Clipper wins best pride on 0x. You know, it wins both legs, one leg, and never loses. So, but I had to go find the Clipper exchange data to kind of show this stuff. So
You
this
got
might
it.
be shown a little bit more prominently. So new users who code a Clipper exchange, they can see right up front, like this is the spot to be for my blue chips or
Correct.
all right, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Less hunting, right? And hopefully more transactions.
Great. Anything else you want to address before we go to questions? Because I'm looking, I didn't follow the chat too much, but chat has been bumping. So we got a bunch of questions there, and there was the Google form. So should we start getting into user questions?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to,
All right, let's see.
because there were some great questions that we kind of, started with. I'm sure there've been more in the chat.
Yeah, 35 and man, time flies when you're having fun. 35 minutes in. Let's get to some of these questions. So, it looks like a new user asked. He's kind of asking about unstaking sale, but more importantly, asked how do I become a place on AdmiralDAO.xyz for voting. So that's a great question, and maybe we should on Clipper.exchange there should be a little quick tutorial on how to get voting. But the short answer is you need to hold sale. If you hold sale, then you get to participate in governance. And to give a quick, very quick overview, actually, let me just open up the page, right? AdmiralDAO.xyz and actually docs.admiralDAO.xyz. I'll share that up on my screen. Let me pop that up. And then you can go to the governance process. And there is a 4-phase process for how voting happens. And the first 2 phases happen in our very own Discord. So if you scroll down to governance, the welcome channel kind of tells you how about you do this. And basically, what you need to do is use our guild.xyz. It's located within the Clipper Discord, but if you hold SAIL token, you use the Guild XYZ earn roles, and it will give you the SAIL token holder role. And that allows you to access and view all of the governance channels. And once you're in the governance channels, anyone can submit a proposal. It goes into the proposal submission forum for everyone to say, I think this is a good idea, I think it's a bad idea, I think you should tweak this, I think you should change that. And once people have gotten the necessary feedback, and the only thing that's required for phase 1 is just a little bit of a waiting period. And then after that, you need to speak to an operator, because they're the type of people who can take it to phase 2, which is the temperature check. Once you're in temperature check, it's sort of your finished idea of the proposal. And then within Discord, people vote it up or down and say, yeah, we think this is a good enough idea to go to the actual on-chain vote or not. And assuming it makes it to phase 3, it goes to Snapshot, which I'll put up here. The link is snapshot.org/theadmiraldao.eth. And once it makes it up here, a vote will be open for a certain amount of time. You use your SAIL token. And if a vote passes, it is now a passed proposal. And according to the Admiral DAO bylaws, Clipper is kind of obligated to move forward with it. And again, we're working, we're Clipper, us members, it's SAIL token's only been out for a few months now. We're getting our operators into place. We're working on decentralization. But once we have all these proposals, there's sort of a kind of dev priority pipeline on what comes next. And that's what this call should be about. And that's what the operator calls should be about. If you say, I pass this proposal, where is in the priority pipeline? Or the community gets together and says, this is more, proposal A is more important than proposal B. Let's make sure we happen. Like, we, the community, will work together on making that dev priority pipeline happen. So, look, this is our first kind of community report since we've had operators. And next month, when we do the same thing, I'd like to have a topic of the meeting where we go through some of the active proposals and we can decide like what's actually happening, what's moving next, and the community thinks this is more important than that, and let's alter the dev priority pipeline. That's sort of my thoughts on that question. So I hope I answered that for you. Anything to add to that, Jeremy?
That was perfect.
You're so nice. All right. For all of you haters telling me I'm looking the corner, I'm looking the corner because I'm looking at shit. Okay. Asking about community leaders, we already addressed that. Barbarossa asked about Adventure 3 appeals for rewards. That's a while ago. I'm going to go ahead and message me privately. We can figure that out. Should we post our form submitted questions here? Risky, I'm going to open up the form submission right now, and we'll go through some of those that you submitted. See if I can find it. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna ask some questions here. Do you see any scenarios which cause veSAIL ratio to decrease? We addressed that already, I believe, early on. How frequent should we expect the buyback and changes in ratios to take place? Do you have any idea about that?
So those are actually two separate but related things, right? The ratio isn't only dependent on the purchases; it's also dependent on how much SAIL is staked. And then right now, I believe it's monthly that the DAO revenues are being converted into SAIL, essentially,
Okay.
and then held by veSAIL. But that could be more frequent going forward. It's not something that has yet been automated, and that's actually something that the team is working on and looking into.
So, okay, perhaps automating the buyback. Okay, but
Right,
right
and then
now,
just being able to have the DAO set what percentage, say, is going to purchase. But again, that's
up to the
early
DAO, right?
stages.
Yeah, that's also how much is
You
set.
got it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
risky.
Yeah. I mean, the DAO passed all of it. So
Yeah,
if the DAO changes in the future, that's up to the DAO.
totally. Yeah, fair. All right, let's hop to this next question. The current value. This is kind of a technical question, right?
Yeah,
The pool 700K. The following codes go from 5,000 to 4977, 4976. So I guess this is addressing a little bit of slippage, possibly. Are these
I was
rates?
just yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
So it's completely it is slippage, right? And slippage is a result of trade sizes and the market's ability to absorb a trade of that size. It is certainly not the result of the rebalancing portfolio. You're not fighting against the rebalancing portfolio when you're interacting with Clipper. It's just daily. You're getting essentially the rebalancing of what our core assets are. That is not going to impact the price that you see in the marketplace for these trades.
Right.
Slippage is the result of market activity, the market's ability to absorb
Right. So
trades.
5,000 of a 700,000 pool. So it's like almost 1%. So you're trying to trade 1% of the pool. Not a math guy, but I guess there's slippage there. I assume if the Arbitrum pool value was way higher, that this slippage would be less. So let's get a bunch more value in the Arbitrum pool. How about that? That's my answer to that, I guess. Okay, what percentage of the revenue are you planning to use for buyback in the short term slash longer term? Did
That's
you?
up to the Dow. Yeah, right. In the proposal, it's 100%, and the Dow can set it in the future and determine how often to reset it. So I would say that's completely up to the members of the Dow.
I'm gonna pop up in that staking proposal.
Yeah, I'd refer everyone back to the staking proposal.
I'll pop that in chat instead of just putting it up on the link.
Yeah.
So you go through here to see kind of the nuts and bolts of the.
I'd say, yeah, the structure of how veSAIL works and came together. I mean, this is almost exactly the kind of scope, right, that the devs took in order to build out veSAIL.
Great. Yeah, and if I guess people want to make changes, go ahead and go through the governance process. All
Correct. Yeah,
right.
the default was 100%, and in future that could be shifted.
Okay, a question I want to know the answer to because I thought this was one of our we sent people to do this during the adventure. I thought it was such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Is there any updates regarding the 1-inch DAO proposal for Clipper as a treasury management product for 1-inch and the request to allocate 650,000 Clipper to mainnet pool? And then also, should community or operators pursue similar proposals for mainnets or other pools? So I am curious about the specific proposal, and but to answer the second part first, there Clippers is sort of best in market for this kind of stuff too. So it does feel like a very attractive place for people to park their capital. So yes, I would encourage everyone to follow that, and I'll post the link of what that proposal looked like so people can use it as a model. But certainly go out if you know a protocol that has money just sitting around, tell them to park it in Clipper. It works for them and it'll work for us as well. But Jeremy, do you have answers about the specific 1-inch proposal for 650K?
Yeah, a few things to cover here. So that particular proposal was voted down rather unexpectedly. It kind of sailed through their temp check, and then a whale or two, and obviously we don't know exactly who the entities are. Put the kibosh on it rather quickly once it did get into the snapshot voting.
So it made it through a number of the phases.
It made it all the way to snapshot,
phase,
correct? Yeah, and made it through rather comfortably. So we weren't expecting kind of the level of friction that we got for that. I will say though, to follow up, and there's I know a blog post on the topic, and a little bit more information available on why Clipper is such a good tool for DAO treasuries. What I would note is Flipper is generally better than hodling, and most DAO treasuries just hodl. And especially if they're just hodling, say, a stable coin, the Clipper's far better than what they're doing. And we actually have there was a great question in the Discord a few weeks ago about exactly this.
Mm-hmm.
And the team, led by Mark, put together an answer, and we'll be publishing that in the documents and in the blog or a blog post.
Oh, I remember
in
that
the coming
question. It led
days.
to a fury of activity behind the
Yes,
scenes.
it
So,
did. Yeah, yeah.
so
Behind the
get
scenes, we thought,
yeah,
okay, this is a fantastic question, and we really need to offer a detailed answer, because it's essentially, the question we get asked all the time is, okay, but what if ETH 10x's?
right,
But okay, well, yeah, you like then, then you're if it's straight line 10x's, then you're not going to see any volatility. So you will see the upside for volatility. So you would be better just hodling.
right,
And my response to that kind of internally is like, sure, that is true. However, it's never happened.
right.
And if what you're betting on is something that is almost fantastically unlikely, then this may not be the message for you, right? That you can kind of see incremental gains on a
Yeah,
daily basis, et cetera. There's always going to be fluctuations, and we know that just because we know how commodities behave.
right.
And there's a lot of very sound economic research into the fluctuations of commodities, especially back to a mean over time,
Mean
and
reverting
that's
totally.
what you got it,
Yeah, and
and that's
I
what
mean, daily rebalancing portfolio. It is harvesting volatility, and
correct.
what we see a lot of volatility is networks. And I mean, if ETH were to 10x, it's not like the core pool doesn't hold, what, at least 1/7 of ETH. So you're still
So the
seeing
most
return.
likely
Yeah,
scenario, if ETH does
it's
10x, is
probably
that there's a
everything else
lot of
10xing
there's
too.
a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
fluctuation on the way.
yeah, yeah,
So hodling, yes, you would gain, right?
yeah, yeah.
However, you would gain more if you were in the core pool harvesting that volatility daily.
Sure.
And that's part of what the math, the research that we did looking into this shows, and we have some graphs that kind of show those scenarios. So yes, even if you would be up through that volatility, hodling, it's actually still better to have a daily rebalancing portfolio that's taking some of that volatility, up and down, and passing the gains on to you.
All right. Just a couple more questions, and then we'll let people go because we're getting late. And
Yeah.
again, Barbarossa, I'm going to answer your sale question, your appeal stuff privately. So get that to me there. But two more questions. Can you talk about the effect of 1-inch fusion for Clipper? What is it, and what could it mean for us?
Yeah, so actually, that's another thing that didn't launch on 1 inch. However, the team has been able to repurpose it for Uniswap's
Yeah.
essentially identical
Yeah.
product called
Uniswap
Uniswap
fusion.
X.
Yeah. Uniswap X. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just launched the MVP there. We have a lot of really talented developers at Shipyard Software, the developers and the team behind Clipper, and it was quite the sprint over the last month or so. We got it launched, we got it live. We even helped them out with their documents on the way, as we do, and we'll start seeing some volume from that come in. So what does that mean for Clipper? Well, volume is actually the name of the game in terms of the prices we're able to offer on trades and the size of trades that we're able to put through the protocol competitively. I'll also note we won in terms of filling bids through our Uniswap X MVP, at least in testing, a significant, I can't say the exact number, but a significant number of bids against other fillers that were in the market.
Yeah.
And that's simply because we had a slightly better architecture. Again, that's not surprising given the kind of supremacy of Clipper's architecture. So it was really exciting to kind of see the team hustle together to get something out there and to see it be extremely competitive in that filler marketplace.
So the MVP's out. Is there a timeline for when it'll go, when Uniswap X goes live, or don't know?
Oh, it went live yesterday.
Oh,
We're
the
in production
MVP,
as of yesterday.
that's the
Yeah.
MVP is like that's live. It's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
we'll be making enhancements to it, right? So we'll only improve from here,
yeah.
essentially. But we had to get something from, kind of the docs into production, and we launched that. I mean, it was ready to launch earlier, but we were able to get it live into production yesterday. So we'll start to see some volume from there.
Great. So let's see more volume in Clipper. And then the last thing
Correct.
is it's kind of sort of, I'll give you a chance to opine on the benefits of SAIL and Clipper in general. But the question specifically asks why veSAIL is the best choice for SAIL holders, and just kind of talk about, we started talking about Votus Growth SAIL
Sure.
and
Yeah.
end on it too.
Yeah. I would. I think point everyone back to the math on this, right? There's right now, if you hodl sale, then you're just hodling. Whereas if you stake the sale, then you're seeing essentially some returns on what otherwise would have been just a market rate sale. I'd also note that the value of sale is really participation in Admiral DAO, right? You're able to push forward ideas that you have about DeFi, work with the community that's really focused on building the future of DeFi, a number of really exciting protocols that's enabling us to then go and get better volume, which then enables us to go and get better prices, which then brings more people in, which then grows the total volume that the protocol kind of has to work with in terms of getting trades and also getting returns for LPs. So being part of that engine, right, and helping to direct where some of these revenues are flowing, that's the benefit of holding sale.
Yeah.
I'd say the best way to get some sale for holding sale is through veSAIL.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, so you hold sale, it allows you to participate in the ecosystem, but you also don't just have to hold sale. You stake it and then you earn more sale, and the
Correct.
returns are really good. And, you know, actually, a question: how does Clipper generate reward for sale stakers? That comes from the protocol, right? I mean, the
Correct.
fees that we earn on
It's just
all the,
protocol
yeah,
revenues.
yeah, protocol
Yep.
revenues. All right, Jeremy, we're coming up on, well, we're coming up on an hour. So, any final words before I say goodbye to everyone? And let me remind you, we talked about staking your sale. Go stake your sale and come DM me that you did it, and we will reimburse you your gas fees. I'm talking about during the bounds of this call. So you got time to go do it right now. Go to Clipper.exchange, click the earn, connect your wallet, bump all your sale in there, start earning, and you're going to get your gas back. So go do that. And Jeremy, I'll give you the final words. You spoke a lot today, but let's give us some final words. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Just great to address the community. Really excited, obviously, for everything that's coming down the pipeline here at Shipyard Software and everything in terms of enhancements to the Clipper protocol. I actually need to hop because I have to go and execute all these streams so that everyone who participated in Adventure 4 gets their initial disbursements
Yeah, you better
for
go
all
do
their
that.
hard
I
work.
need it. Hey, what a pleasure. So fun. Thank you to all the audience members that got here. We'll put this up on YouTube, and maybe I'll play you guys out with a drum solo next time. Talk later, everyone. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Have a great
Thanks,
Friday.
Ben.
Great weekend. See you next week. And bye-bye.